Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today, and welcome to the August A Cherry on Top Cherry Hop. The theme this month is cherries, so I am sharing with you a sketch-inspired two-page layout featuring cherries as we went cherry picking. My cherries are a digital cut file, and I used some Nouveau Drop to create the catch light in the cherries. So first thing I'm doing is taking some tape and just adhering the two white pieces of cardstock together. I like to create in a smooth transition. And so I like to have those two pages glued together or adhered together with temporary tape. So I am cutting a basil navy cardstock background, and that is going to go all the way across. Again, this is part of so this is a YouTube hop for a cherry on top, but I am using an Allison Davis sketch from the for 4x6 paper pad for 4x6 photos only. It's a class that she is hosting over on Facebook. It's a private class. Unfortunately, it's too late to sign up, but I am using that sketch, which I cannot share because we have paid to use those. So I have amended the sketch, and instead of using two 4x6 photos, I am using just a 6x8 photo. I am also have amended the sketch a little bit in that I'm not going to use things quite where they're supposed to go and add different layers of my own. I am also creating with the Vicki Boutin Sweet Rush collection, and that is the foundation for the colors of my layout here. So I have a collage of photos for 3x4 photos that are basically 3 4x6s. I had originally printed that on one continuous piece, but I need to format I need to look into color matching, I guess. No, that's not the word. Color production in printing on my large format printer, because it is not printing the colors that I'm looking for. So I am going to mat that cascade of photos there on the right hand page on that green. I really like the way that it pops the green of the cherry trees, and so but I do want a thin white border because I think that it needs a little bit of that contrast and division there. So I've got two 1/4 inch strips there that will just go down either side of the cascade of photos. I was thinking that I might actually, that card there with the carousel, that I might put it white where the carousel is, and then I might do a slide in and out for some journaling there, but I didn't like the way, there was just something that didn't sit right with me, and so it's just as well that that didn't sit right with me, because I don't end up doing that, which leads me down a different path and closer to what ends up being the final layout there. So adhering these 1/4 inch strips for the contrast, and then I will cut that column out that will go on the closest edge of the left-hand border of the page there. And love the contrast between the blues and the greens there, the kind of playing off the blue of the sky and the green of the trees. And then my son, my daughter, and my mom are both wearing sort of the cherry burgundy red colors. And so I like the way that that contrasts with the cherries and pulls that contrast there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down, still thinking that maybe I might want to have something there in that middle section there, but not quite sure, so left that out just to work with that just in case. So I thought maybe I might have used these stripes without the blue border there, but I really like the way that they enhance, or the blue border enhances the colors there and ties all of the colors that are in the photos together super nicely. That's my uniting piece there. And so just trimming out the photo here, again, for a thin white border. I like white borders on my photos. It just provides contrast to this surface that it's working in. So that's the selvage strip strip with the pink there with a bunch of phrases. I thought maybe I might use it, but the problem is that I don't have another one that will go all the way over to the right hand side for some continuity that'll tie that together. So still pondering how that is going to factor in there. Using the digital file, I also created that paper clip with the cherries, and I am going to use it, but I will off camera pull it off because it is one by itself, and then I've got about 8 cherries that are scattered throughout the page, and so it looks silly. It doesn't look silly, it just looks, it stands out like a sore thumb because it is literally the only one there. So I will tell you that off camera I will pull that off. So I like the way that this grid continues across the page and ties the left-hand page to the right-hand page along with that blue. It also softens some of that blue there and provides some contrast to that navy. So this is how I'm going to incorporate this into the page there, just to continue a kind of a shelf that things are going to sit on. Ahead of time, you can see I worked on some embellishment clusters. I'm sorry I didn't do that on camera, but digging through the embellishments takes about 5 minutes in and of itself, and I'm not good at layering up these embellishments, and so honestly I forgot to turn the camera on too as part of it. So you can see the little cluster there. So instead of the stars in the sketch, I've got these clusters. Because I've also shifted where things are, I've shifted where the clusters are going to go as well. So these cherries are actually 3-part. You have the cherry body, the red part of the cherry, and then you have the long stem, and then you have these leaves that are kind of cool because they pop out from the outer border. I cut these actually out of green from a different Vicki Boutin collection. So this was from the cherry box, the leftovers that I had from the cherry box. And so I cut them out of a pattern paper that has more of a yellow hint to it than a green hint, and I really wanted the green for the stems, and so I'm using some Mowed Lawn Distressed Oxide ink, which is absolutely perfect to add the hint of green and also some texture to that. So I'm going to construct these cherries and then sprinkle them throughout the page for my cherry picking theme. So you can see here that big hello you that is on the left hand side. I've got a lot of words, so it says ticket, and I'm going to have tell the story, a much needed break, and so I end up using hello you as the title. I had pulled out some letters that say you pick for the cherries, but really there's enough verbiage on there that I really didn't want anything else, and I was going to have some really big bold letters in order to compete with the hello you, in order to make that obvious, and so I just opted to go with hello you. It's pretty obvious what we're doing, and you can also see within the journaling that we are cherry picking as well. Not to mention that the cascade of cherries that are throughout the layout kind of might give that away as well. So I've committed to this, and so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down and start building in some layers. So again, this is the paper clip that I am not going to use, but I am going to use this card here for my journaling. I had thought that white space on the right hand side I might journal in there, but I really like it on the card, and I like that white space, especially for the contrast that it provides to the layout there. So this is my second embellishment cluster, or third. The left with the journaling is my second embellishment cluster, so this is my third embellishment cluster. This serves no purpose. There are lots of lines and lots of white space, and I could write in there, but the card on the left hand side already has location and date, and so there's really not a lot that I needed to write in addition to on that top part there. I might go in and maybe put the price per pound of the cherries, if I can find that information, because this was last June. This is a new orchard to us. We'd never been cherry picking before, and that's what I talk about in the journaling there. So again, just inking up some of these cherry stems and cherry leaves in order to add a little bit more green and less yellow to the page. That's something that's really tough for me when I'm printing, is making sure that the leaves are green. I find that somehow my color, I need to work on my color management because my pictures look green on the screen, but they often print with this pretty strong yellow tint to them within the green formats. So yeah, my problem. Okay, so we've got lots of cherries sprinkled throughout the page. I can't tell you how many cherries we picked. We picked 2 of those giant buckets there. We had cherries for days. I think we made cherry crisp, we made cherry pie, we made cherry muffins, and we ate cherries literally for days. They were really, really good cherries though. There's nothing like a fresh picked cherry. There's nothing like a fresh picked anything, right? So now I'm going to work a little bit more on this left-hand cluster. I want to put a couple of cherries over here. So again, I'm going to use that component. What I am also going to do off camera is use Nouveau. So I've got, it was just the simple white, and instead of making drops like enamel dots and doing circles, I literally just drew kind of like a tadpole. So you got a bigger blob and then thin that out and lift up the nozzle in order to get that sort of catch light in the cherries. And you'll see that better in the close-ups. So my cherries are all single cherries, but I did just create a two cherry on a stem, a double header cherry, and that's on the top of that journaling spot there. Again, it's just some cutting in order to put a second stem off of that one twirl there, and that will have a leaf that will go in there as well. So this is a YouTube hop. It's our monthly hop that we do, the Cherry on Top design team. And so there are other videos that are linked down below for you to go and visit and see how you can incorporate cherries into your layout, be it a cherry themed layout or not, maybe a cherry pun or something along those lines. So perfect for summer fruit and summer sweetness. So I will link you to that down below. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment box down below in order to be eligible to win one random winner will get a gift card to the store. We do this every month with a different theme every month, and so it's fun. It's nice to see how we all work with the same theme and interpret that theme differently. So I hope I have inspired you to take a look at how you can incorporate cherries and use ink to color things, as well as Nouveau to maybe add some catch lights to that. And I hope you are doing well there and that you have enjoyed this process video. Again, I'm sorry I can't share the sketch with you, but because it is part of a class, but you can totally scrap lift this and make your own interpretation of this, because this is my own interpretation of the sketch as well. So be sure to head over to the other girls' channels and leave comments. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Enjoy the close-ups. Come back again soon. Take care.